Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today on my 5-minute wealth tip today, I'm going to make this part 2 of legacy planning. In the first plan that we talked about in the first part, we discussed how important it was to really get prepared for retirement. Maybe you don't need the income and you're starting to have a lot of your assets build up over time. And you need to figure out how to distribute those assets in the most efficient way possible without bringing a burden onto your children. So I discussed a little bit about that in the first part. So if you haven't seen it, look for the first part, part 1 of legacy planning. Now let's talk a little bit about what some options are available that you can take advantage of while you're planning for your distributing of those assets to your children in the most efficient way possible. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about LIRPs, life insurance retirement plans. Now, I love LIRPs, and I'll tell you why. It's the only thing that I know that you can actually put away a certain amount of money, generating a tax-free distribution to your children, protect your family while you're living, have the ability, if something should happen from a health standpoint, you can turn on a feature that'll help cover the costs of long-term care or chronic illness, and then on top of all of that, have no maximum limit that you can put into the plan. And that's what a LIRP is, a life insurance retirement plan. So let's talk a little bit about how it should work. So with life insurance, there are certain guidelines that you can fall into that you can leverage to work to your advantage. We talked a little bit about how your IRA had to be distributed out at a certain age, and you're forced to start taking that money in a form of income, or if nothing else, just to pay the taxes that are owed on your required minimum distribution amount. But you may not need the income. So then what do you do with it? Well, the cool thing about this, just like conversions that we talked about on Roth IRAs, you can do the similar same thing in the LIRP. So instead of you taking the funds out and converting it into a Roth account, we take the funds out and we convert it to a life insurance retirement plan. And at the same time, we can buy a death benefit that could be at a certain dollar amount based off of how much money you're putting into the plan. Now, let me explain to you what's a little bit different here. Whenever you're applying for life insurance for whatever reason, the focus is typically for death benefit, to make sure at the end of the day you have enough assets to pass down to your family to cover whatever those needs are. Maybe it's paying off a home, maybe it's putting someone through college, maybe it's offsetting the income that you're losing from that spouse once they pass away. But there's a specific death benefit, and that's primarily why most people buy life insurance, because they have a specific need that's coming out of that. Well, with the LIRP concept, it's not really about the death benefit as much as how much it is about accumulating of assets, putting a certain amount of money away that will reduce the death benefits and maximize the amount of cash that we can put away into the LIRP. Let's imagine if you wanted to overfund this policy with as much money as you possibly can and started converting money from your qualified accounts, your 401k, 403b, your IRA accounts, things of that nature. This is a great way for you to accumulate those assets and let it grow, still tax deferred while it's in the account, but have tax-free distributions from the account, properly structured by taking it in the form of a loan against the life insurance policy. This gives you a lot of other features to be able to take advantage of and do it in the most tax efficient way possible. It also gives you the ability to have what's called a rider attached to it that may take care of all your long-term care needs, chronic illness needs down the road if something should come up. You also have the ability to have that tax-free death benefit that passes to your children or your heirs benefit fully tax-free. You have the ability, in some cases, to get better than the prevailing rates in your bank and CD accounts from the life insurance policies. Some of these policies are tied to indexes that could be, up there as high as your typical mutual funds and accounts of that nature. So there's a lot of great features with a LIRP product. The whole thing is, though, you got to remember it's still a life insurance product. So that means you have to qualify for the life insurance. So Give us a call in the office if you want to learn more about the LIRP program, Life Insurance Retirement Plan, and how it might be able to benefit you in the long term. We'll run some numbers for you and see if you can qualify for it. But as to me, one of the best conversion processes that you can take advantage of and has the most benefits and features for those who can qualify for the life insurance. Okay, guys, have a blessed day. That's my 5-minute wealth tip for the day. Part 2 of legacy planning using the LIRP. Have a good day. Bye.